So don't talk until I introduce you. All right? Okay. Hey, JMO.
Hey, Jace. So we're here, finally, at last. A long time coming.
Here we fucking are,
Yeah,
man.
finally.
In Massachusetts.
Yeah, Cape Cod.
Kind of a ghetto setup, but it doesn't matter because we're both wearing
The
fucking
shades.
shades.
It's too bright in here.
Blocking
Hello.
out the haters, bro. From every direction.
Yep. Always.
Every single, angle.
They can't hit us.
They can't hit us, bro.
No, untouchable.
How many haters you have right now?
Zero.
Zero.
By far. Maybe -5.
What's the first fucking subject? Because I hate talking to you normally.
So let's just start with graduation, yeah.
Graduation?
Yeah, so this was my,
Let me see that jewel.
This is my senior year
Thank you.
of high school, 2019. 2018 to 2019 year was my senior year. I'm 18 years old. And we flew Jason out to come to graduation. Fire! Right?
Fire!
Yeah. So, yeah. But no, so we flew Jason out. Thank you to my dad. He bought the plane ticket. And, yeah, so in the beginning of this school year, I asked Jason, I was like, hey, do you think, you'd be able to make it out for my graduation? And he said, without a doubt, I'll be there 100%. And so we really made it happen. And thank you, really seriously. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. It's been crazy how we've been able to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Like
actually have it come together.
A year and a half ago, we said we were going to, get everybody in the same room for Grandpa's party because he turned 80. And we made that shit happen.
Yeah.
And then, 6 months ago, I was like, I'm coming to see you on your graduation. And we made that shit happen.
Yeah. Whatever we want, we make it happen. You know what I mean?
Crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Adulting. Crazy.
Yeah.
We actually, we're stepping in to, run the family now.
Yeah, I know.
It's, actually happening.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And as we get older, it's just going to continue to progress. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. But it's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
You turned 18, what? 7 days before your graduation? Something like that?
Yeah. June 1st was my birthday, and then June 8th was my graduation.
Did I call you on your birthday?
I called you because...
Yeah, you called me.
Yeah, I called Jason.
Shit.
I'm like, hey, what's today? He's like, I don't know.
No,
like,
dude, I knew it was your fucking birthday.
No. Yeah, you would have remembered later. But
I would have. You called me early. You called me at 1 p.m.
No, I called Jason and I go, happy birthday. And he was like, oh, shit. Remember?
Yeah. You know how it is. I would have remembered.
It's okay.
I forgot my dad's birthday this last year. That was fucking devastating.
When I turned 17, you forgot and you called me the day after.
So my dad called me a month after. It was Thanksgiving. It's a month and a half after his birthday. And I was like, hey, man, happy Thanksgiving. Awesome to see you. Awesome to talk to you. I didn't see him. Awesome to talk to you right now. And he was like, yeah, you forgot to call me on my birthday. Oof. And he was on speaker. And I was at Paul's house. Oh. And it was so embarrassing, man.
Yeah, I would have felt like a big fucking dick.
October 2nd, bro. October 2nd. Everybody send a wish to my father on October 2nd every year.
Not you.
Make up for it.
Make up for it. So, okay, we talked about graduating a little bit. So, now, my plans for after graduation are to go out with one of my best buddies, Ray Ransom. Shout out to Ray. He and I are going to be dorming together at Arizona State University. D1 school, crazy school, big party school, but me and him are going to keep each other in balance. So we don't have too much partying, but we just keep on, you know what I mean?
You're not going to keep each other in balance. You're going to fucking spike up during the parties. Yeah. You're going to crash, and then you're going to, pull yourself back up to, studying.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, but me and him have, many serious talks, and, we don't really want that to actually happen. We want to just keep it, go in there with, the perfect mindset and, keep it that way and stick to it.
Good, man. College is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know yet what you're going to be studying?
Business, yeah. business for now. I mean, obviously, I love fashion, as you know, but like, in order to like, I was gonna go to FIT, the Fashion Institute in New York, but in order to have that would have been crazy, yeah. But in order for me to do that, I would have had to made a portfolio of all my artwork, and I have zero artwork. So and like that would have just kind of been too much of me, like because there's a lot of college shit you have to do. So like staying on top of that and making like art at the same time, it would have been just too much. So I'm gonna go to business, so at least I'll understand how to run a company of business. You know what I mean? So that'll be great. So.
Yeah, that'll be good. We're gonna try to open up a fashion business together.
Absolutely, that'll happen.
Don't want to go too far into it, but it's gonna be. We've been talking about it for years, man.
Since 2017.
Me and my father had a conversation like, fucking 10 years ago.
Yep.
And he was like thinking about this company to open. He's like, this would be a great name for like a company, like a restaurant.
Where you got the name from?
Yeah, he was thinking of a restaurant to call, and I was like, that would be a great name, man.
It is a great name.
And like we kind of talked about like how it would be, like me and him, and I was like 14 or 13, and we were just talking about it, and we kind of like hashed out this whole kind of style.
Okay.
And that's kind of what branched into. And you were kind of going through a weird time too.
Yeah.
And I know that that would help, and that you knew everything about like fashion and all that stuff. So we kind of just fucking started.
Yeah, just connecting.
Going on it.
Yeah.
And now that you're gonna be moving to Arizona, and I live in LA, it's a state over.
It's literally a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's a 6-hour drive to get to LA from the campus. So like. That's dope. We'll be out there, especially for Thanksgiving, to hand out the food with Uncle Tony to the homeless. That's an amazing thing to do. Makes you feel great. Wish we could help every homeless person in the world, but at least a little.
It's fucking crazy in LA, man.
Yeah.
There's like 46,000 of them.
Really?
In LA.
That's ridiculous.
Just in LA.
Just in LA. Imagine the world.
Think about just all of California, and then all of everywhere. Dude, like 5 of them.
Oh, just LA.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was thinking, like, when you said LA, I'm thinking California, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous.
No, just LA.
It's ridiculous. You go, like, around the corner, bro, and there's, like, streets with just tents everywhere. Like, nobody lives there. It's just tents.
I remember seeing it because in 6th grade, I went out to LA with Mom to hand out the sandwiches and stuff for the homeless. And even that, like, it was just a shitload. And it, like, blew my... It was very, mind-opening, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy to see that. Like, really
it's going to be good for you in Brazil, too, because there's some poorer areas in Brazil. It's good for you to see it, man, because there's not too much of it here. And it wasn't too much of it in Florida either. Yeah. Or Naples, anyway.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it's important, because it's easy to get, like, kind of caught up. Like, if you go to Beverly Hills, man, if you go to Beverly Hills in LA, you will hate those people.
Yeah.
Because they're so ignorant.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everybody. Like, I'm not insulting people. But
I mean, the large aspect of the people there,
Yeah.
Definitely probably, yeah. Yeah, but another thing, so in 5 days from now, I go with one of my best friends, Reggie, to Brazil. He goes every single summer, and we've been planning it out since, like, 8th grade. We were like, yo, like, senior year, let's make a trip out to Brazil. And so it's crazy, like we were kind of saying earlier, how, like, when we want something, like, we're making it happen. Like, that's another example of, like, just something, like, that I planned on doing, and now it's, like, actually happening. Like, I'm going to Brazil for 3 weeks, and that's going to be crazy.
I would have loved to hit Brazil with you, man. That would have been so cool.
I really
would have done ayahuasca.
Yeah. What is ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca is like, so, you know what DMT is?
Yes. Oh, actually, you told me about ayahuasca. Go ahead, continue
DMT is where they kind of like they take it and they mix it with like another plant, right, to kind of dilute it, and they make it into a tea, so that it's like it's the strength of DMT, but it's not condensed in 15 minutes. It's kind of put into like a 6 to 12 hour trip type of thing, and they have like in a lot of areas in Brazil they have like these shamans. that take you out into like the
jungle and shit.
The jungle, and they have areas, and they have these big kind of tent type places. You know, as far as I know about it.
Yep.
And they they trip with you, and they sing and they hum and they hit the drum. I don't think the shamans trip. I think they observe over a group of people who do it, and I think usually you throw up.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Usually you throw up, you know. Sometimes you don't, but nevertheless you trip out.
You trip the fuck out. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a very spiritual experience.
No, yeah, sounds really a lot of fun. Shout out to Xander. Just wanted to say, hey, what's up? What's poppin', bro?
What's up, bitch?
Love the hair as always. You know that.
It's my roommate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love Xander.
Yeah, he's doing good, man. He runs a fucking. He doesn't run it, but he works in a meditation spot.
Right.
He's big into fashion too.
I'll meet you eventually in person.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So okay.
What we got?
So we talked.
Take these off for a second.
Okay. So while Jason's been here in Massachusetts, I've taken him to a couple of parties. Go ahead.
Fuck. Nah, I need the shades for this.
Yeah, you do.
Shit, man.
Gotta block out those haters.
Yeah, I gotta block out the fucking major haters. I'm about to get in the police force. It's about to get on me, bro. Okay? High school parties I haven't gone to since I was in high school. When I was in high school, I barely went to them, and now I fucking regret it, dude. Okay, dude. I'm not a pedophile, okay? But I went to your graduation, and I had to realize that some of the people there were 16 years old.
17, but like still. Like
17 years old,
not 18,
bro.
not
we
legal.
went to a party like 3 days ago. That was till like 2 in the morning, and there was this one girl there, so bitchy. But body, like crazy.
She's got a nice butt.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Apple bottom jeans.
Boots
and then
with the fur.
Told me, like 2 hours later, that she's 15 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fuck are they putting in Dunkin' Donuts coffee, man?
Starbucks, bro.
Starbucks Frappuccinos just loaded with those fucking ass growth hormones, bro.
Jesus.
Ugh. Dude, when I was in senior year of high school, I was 18 years old. I took a freshman class because I was like fucking off, you know. I was like, whatever, it's senior year, who cares?
You do what you want.
Take it easy, you know. And there was this girl who was 14 years old. 14. Ridiculous. And I just remember, dude, and you've seen this fucking person.
No, she's fine. Like
bomb.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Yeah.
And she like had a crush on me.
Right. It makes it even worse.
And it took every like of my soul to just be like,
just not. Yeah,
you have a good day.
Not
you know,
engage.
I gotta like go home. You know, I got a lot of chores. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. I went to a party that she was at, and she was just twerking, and I was like, "How is this even possible?"
Yeah.
And she came over, and she was like trying to do it on me, and I was like, "I can't do this. I can't do this with you."
Not trying to catch a case.
Yeah. Speaking of like catching cases and giving diseases, bro. Fucking. Did I tell you about homecoming? Like senior year homecoming.
I'm thinking prom. Go ahead.
Homecoming. So they have like these set of days before homecoming in a lot of high schools. They had it in my high school. It's called like, I don't know what it is, Pride Week or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and like they have you do different themes every day.
Yeah.
So 2 days before homecoming was Gender Bender Day. So I like went all out. I wore a sports bra, a purple sports bra, and teachers were really upset at me because I wasn't supposed to show my midriff, you know, as if that was like turning people on. Yeah, this section here.
What?
You know, I had love handles. It wasn't like anybody's like, oh, I want to fucking bite into that. And like I wore these super tight like yoga pants that belonged to a girl like a third my size.
Oh no.
And I wore these big fucking like platforms.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I could barely walk in. My feet were just dying. But the thing that affected everything was I had a wig that was sitting on the floor of my closet for like a year because the year before that, I had like filmed a little thing where I wore a wig.
Okay.
Might have been more than a year. And I picked it off the floor of my closet and I put it on. You know, I wasn't thinking about it. And I got pink eye. I have fucking pink eye. And then 2 days later, I went to homecoming because I was like, I'm not gonna. Okay, I think we're back on. Lean back on to make sure that we get thing. All right.
Good.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Positive.
Cool.
Damn. Okay.
All right. So we got cut off because we got a phone call.
Yep.
But what was I saying? Homecoming. Oh yeah. So the homecoming. I went to homecoming with pink eye because I wasn't gonna miss homecoming.
Right. Yeah.
So
should have wore sunglasses.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. It was a dark room, so nobody saw. But you know what homecoming, like, I don't know if homecoming was the same for you, if it's the same for all high schools, but like, there's like this 20 by 20 just square foot of grinding going on. Like the whole school is just grinding each other. And I was like, you know, I went all out and I went in and I grinded up with the whole school and, you know, sweating and shit.
Yeah.
And half the school got pink eye.
No.
Half the school got fucking pink eye.
Did they know it was from you?
No, they never knew it was from me, but like there was an outbreak and it was like a big thing and nobody ever knew. Like a couple of my close friends knew it was me. And now
I mean, if they watch this,
now if anybody sees this, they'll know that I'm the reason pink eye got spread to half the school.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's something.
There's a few different forms of pink eye though. It wasn't the super serious one though.
I didn't even know there was different forms of pink eye.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up that it happened.
Shades are off.
Shades are off,
really
bro.
bright.
It's getting serious. It's bright as shit in here.
Wow. Okay. So
it's good for lighting though.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about. All right. So let's see. Wait. Let me think. Yeah. Also, like, if you can't really hear me that well, it's just because pollen and partying and screaming at graduation. Like if my voice is kind of cracking in and out, like that's why. I apologize. But moving on, we let's talk about when you. Let's talk about you moving away when you were, you're 7, right?
Oh yeah, that was fucking great.
Yeah, Jason used to live on Cape. He was born in Switzerland, but
yeah, born in Switzerland, but I was a baby. I was 11 months old when they brought me over. That's a crazy story too. Probably a story for another day. The story of my parents, but so we came over to Massachusetts, which is where we are now. I don't know if I ever even brought that up, but
yeah, you said it.
Yeah, I was like 7 when I left Massachusetts.
Yep.
And I didn't want to go. My mom stayed here for a year while I went with my dad to Florida.
I was 4 at the time.
Yeah, and I didn't know that it was because my mom was sick.
Like, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that it was because my dad needed a better work opportunity in Florida. You know, all those types of things. But she stayed at the house for a year here in Massachusetts. I remember the last memory I have of that house, because I loved it. It was my childhood house. It was the thing to me. I walked in and, you know, I kind of like, I looked up, I looked around the house. The car was in the driveway for us to leave. I said, Dad, let me go in. I walked in, I looked around, and I just said, house, I love you. I'll be back here soon. I will be back.
Yeah.
And I left. And we got in the car and we drove to Florida. And
you drove? You didn't fly?
We drove. We drove to Florida. And I was there for several years. I was able to come back like once or twice, but not to see the house. Like I was able to see maybe the outside of it.
Yeah.
But I never really got to go in. And then our parents, my father, your mother, brother and sister, they got into like a feud.
Yeah.
And because of that feud, I was not allowed to come back to Massachusetts for like a long time.
Yeah.
So it was like I was kind of like torn away from like my home life there.
Yeah.
And I had to live for 11 years in this place that I hated, and then I moved to LA when I was 18.
Yeah, after graduation.
After graduation, and then like a few years go by, and I finally like come back here now. And the other day, we went to the place.
Yeah.
We went to my old house.
Yeah.
And I knocked on the door, and the family answered the door, and I didn't even know how to talk.
Yeah,
I was
didn't even know what to say.
I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know how to say this to you, but
this is my childhood house,
and they were so nice about it.
So chill.
Very nice people.
So chill about it.
And they did an amazing good. Well, they did nice work on the house.
Like, they did great work. Yeah. They looked at me and they said like, "Oh, are you a Shumento?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my last name. It's Cumento."
Yeah.
You know, they were like, "Joe,
yeah,
Cumento,"
yeah,
and I was like, "That's my father."
Yeah.
You know, so they were like, "Oh, come in."
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing.
It was amazing for me too, and it wasn't even my house. Like, I've had a lot of memories there too, obviously being little and visiting.
You were like 4.
Yeah, but like even
and
for me,
you were at
it was
the
like
cookouts there and everything.
Even for me, it was like crazy to see. Like, wow, like I've lived here, you know what I mean, my whole life, and I haven't ever like gone back into that house since you were there. So I can't even imagine what you were feeling. You know what I mean?
It looks different, doesn't it?
It does.
From like what it looked like when you were a kid. Everything was bigger. You know what I mean?
When you were little, it was
when
bigger.
you were little, it was bigger. So when you go there, when you're an adult, you're like, this is a regular sized
like
house.
The TV though. Explain the TV to them.
There used to be so when I was a little kid, my parents got this big box set television. It was the biggest box set television that existed at the time.
Yeah.
And my dad cut out a hole in the wall that in a room that he had built. He cut out a hole in the wall going into the garage so he could fit this massive television into the wall and put 2 speakers in the corners.
Yeah.
And I thought my whole life
me too.
That it was a movie screen.
Like,
I thought it was that large.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I thought the hole was gigantic, that it was like the whole wall. Yep. You know, that I would sit on the couch. I grew up telling everybody that I grew up with a movie screen.
Yeah.
Dude, we walked in there and the hole was like a regular size flat screen television now. It was like 40-something inches.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
I was blown away too. I literally thought it took up the whole entire wall.
Yeah. That was fucking.
Because I remember we played like Sonic on it when we were little, and I remember just like sitting there and like looking up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, like this is huge.
Yeah.
We come back and it's, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Just changes in technology, man.
Yeah.
It's like you think like back then, because that was like the biggest thing that you could get. It was like whoa. But like now you look at it and it's like, oh, this is regular.
Yeah, I know. It's like what. It's so crazy how like your perspective changes as you grow older. You know what I mean? Like everything is so different. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. We could talk. Okay, let's talk about me moving to LA eventually. So after I finished my 4 years at ASU, Arizona State University, my plan is to live out with my cousin Jason, because that'll just be amazing. But we're gonna move out, or he's already living there, but I'm gonna move out to LA. We'll live together and we'll start up everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna start up the fashion company. We're gonna start like working out like crazy.
Eating
we're both about
healthy.
to start doing that anyway. But like when we get together, it'll be a big thing because we're both crazy into that.
And we motivate each other and push each other like crazy. So
we've been working out here. You've got like a basement gym in this house, but this isn't the house that you live in. No, this is your mother's house. You live at your father's.
Yeah. So my mom remarried to my stepdad Dan. Excuse me, and
super cool guy.
Yeah, very awesome guy. Mm-hmm. And this is his house, beautiful house, and downstairs is a complete finished gym, like a gym that you would like want to work out in. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a cool gym, man. We've been working out there a couple of days.
Yeah,
you're trying to get back into it.
I was when I was younger, I was you know what I mean? Like
jacked.
Yeah.
What were you, 14 years old?
12.
12? Jacked.
Yeah.
You were like a fucking muscle man 12-year-old.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. And you did it in a year. And you didn't like take supplements or
No.
steroids, but
I used to get shit on. Everyone
did.
told me I used to take steroids. I
It
get so
looked
upset.
like you did.
I get so upset because like it's like, you know how hard I worked from. I was fat. You know
You
what
got
I
a
mean?
photo of you fucking flexing, bro,
12.
and it's like you like your arm was bigger than my head
At the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you still got a good physique, but you stopped. You kind of stopped working out.
If I never stopped, it would be crazy.
Yeah, you look crazy right now.
I look crazy. I regret it, but at the same time, it's life. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. But yeah. So we'll get. Yeah, I mean, I eat pretty bad. Like I love candy and all that. But lately, now that I'm like 18, I'm trying to like better myself. Because I'm starting up my actual like life now. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to eat healthier. Jason's showing me a couple things, and I feel good. Like I feel on fire. You know what I mean? Like I feel good about when you eat right and you work out. You just feel so good about yourself and your mentality. It's so much different. Like instead of just sitting around smoking, like you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's
we're both like trying to get back into it too, because you went a while now without working out, and
2 years.
Oh yeah,
2 years,
quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
I went a while without working out, but like much less, like a couple of months, and then like at a time because I had different surgeries that I had to go through. So it's like, you know, it's a fucking battle in the beginning, man.
It is, but it feels good. Like just even working out the other day, like I'm sore now, and I miss that feeling. You know what I mean? Like the pump when you're. Oh man. Yeah.
What about fighting and shit, like MMA?
Oh, I love MMA.
You used to do it. You used to fight.
I used to do mixed martial arts, and
we'd
go and we'd do tournaments. Like we'd go to like Foxwoods, which is a casino in I believe Connecticut, and which is a couple of hour maybe away from where we live and or where I live here, and we used to just compete and like it was awesome. That was awesome. Like mixed martial arts and all that, like amazing.
Your parents did for you what I really wanted my parents to do for me, and it was like let me do mixed martial arts.
Right.
But my parents were always like the no guns, no violence type of parents, so they let me do capoeira.
I mean, my mom was just like that too. The only reason why I was able to is because like I was chubby and like fat, and like my brother was the one that really got me into it. Like he brought me to literally 5 different karate places, and like I picked the one that I went to, which I'm so happy I did. But it was really like to get back in like better shape because I was, you know, just a fat little roly poly, you know. Like,
so was I, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We were both fat kids. I think everybody in our family was a fat kid.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like Tony was a fat kid.
Yeah.
My dad was a fat kid.
Love
I think
Tony.
Grandpa was probably chubby when he was a kid too.
Maybe, yeah. I haven't seen pictures when he was little, but when he was like my age, like 18, like he was.
He won shape. Physique of the Year.
Yeah, in high school.
In high school, which was like a thing they did back then before everyone turned into bitches.
Yeah.
He won Physique of the Year. That guy was fucking huge.
Yeah.
I said to him at his 80th birthday party, everybody had like dissipated. It was just me, him, his wife Joanne, and my father.
Yep.
And my father always had like a lot of stamina when he was younger. My grandfather was super strong. Yeah. My father could jump rope for 25 minutes straight.
Like you were saying, yep.
You know, and like I hugged my grandpa and I looked at him and I pointed at my dad and I said, someday I'm gonna have more stamina than he ever had, and I'm gonna be stronger than you ever were.
Yep.
And like half of everyone in our family thinks that's a joke because he was strong. Man.
Yeah. Well, like once we have something like in our, which is what I like about like our family. Like once we have like something like that we want, we dedicate ourselves until we get there. You know what I mean? Like we will not stop. That's an amazing trait to have.
I think we've all been lazy in school though.
Yeah.
All of us have been lazy in school because we literally would do the work and then just not turn it in.
My thing with like high school is like I never applied myself. Like I just never really. I didn't care. Like I knew what I could get away with, and like I just really did not put a lot of effort in. I did when I was like a freshman, 8th grade, and like freshman because 8th grade's in our high school too. Honor roll, like almost straight A's, and then sophomore year came around and like just started experimenting more, and like just fucking around, and like I just lost interest. I would say like more in school.
How do you think like drugs came into that?
Into my life, like just like
yeah, because like this thing, for instance, is like I don't smoke these, but like when I see you, I do.
Smoke,
I don't own one.
Yeah.
But like I've probably had fucking 3 packs of cigarettes worth of nicotine like the last 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been smoking this like crazy.
Yeah.
And you smoke it a lot too, but it's not just this.
Oh no, so like, I don't even know where to get started about drugs. Okay, so like the first time, let's talk about weed. First time I ever smoked weed, I was 12 years old. It was Easter and 420 the same day, and and I would smoked previous to this, but like I didn't know that you couldn't just like puff up your cheeks. You have to actually inhale it. So I ended up learning. I won't say who taught me, but like I ended up learning how to actually like inhale. And I just remember coming back inside, and I sat on the couch, and I went like this, and everything was green. Cause you know sometimes when you're outside in the bright, it was a sunny day. You come inside after, and like everything's kind of like
vision's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was green, and I went like this, and it was like, ooh, like slow motion. It was crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of been like fascinated by weed, especially, and I think that has a lot to do with just like being introduced with like alcohol and like drugs at a young age. Like I was like my dad used to give me out like beer out of the sippy bottle when I was 1 years old. You know what I mean? Like so, and like they never, you know, like some parents like will like they don't allow their kids to know like certain things, especially when it comes to like drugs or like sex or anything like that. From the moment I was born, it's literally they've never censored any of that. You know what I mean? Like swearing, anything.
Yeah, my dad was like that too.
Yeah, so
only for some reason I wasn't like I just naturally didn't care for certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did I ever tell you about the first time I got high though?
No. Yes, but I probably have forgotten.
Bro, I the first time I got high and the first time I drank, I was so insecure about it because I was 17 both times.
Okay.
And like, I didn't want to tell the people I was with that I'd never done it before. So I told the people I was with that I was just like, I had taken a break. I was off of it for a few months.
Right, okay.
You know? So they were like, oh, so we're gonna get you fucked up, bro. And they like took me into like this area of like jungle behind his place in Florida. It was super cool. I love the kid. His name's Derek. Cool. Brought me out in the backyard, and and we started smoking out of a bong, and it wasn't hitting me, you know, because sometimes the first time it doesn't really hit you, and like it finally hit me, and I was having a good time. Okay. You know, I was like having fun. You know, I was like throwing punches at my buddy. We were both just laughing.
Yeah.
And this one kid, I don't even remember his name. I wouldn't even want to bring it up. But this one kid fucking had cocaine.
Okay.
And he was like, who wants to do cocaine? And I'm like, yeah! Because I was like experimenting. You know, this was like my thing. I was getting let out of the cage. So he brings out coke, and everyone starts doing coke. And I did some coke. And like I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. And everybody was like pounding out of their chest. Yeah. You know? And then these kids brought me over to a gravity bong. Okay. You know, the shit where you get a 2-liter bottle of Coke and you cut it like 3/4 of the way down. You put it in a bucket full of water and you raise it up so that like when you light it, so that the smoke just fills the bottle. Yeah. You take the cap off, you put your mouth on it, and you're supposed to go down so the smoke slowly all goes into your lungs. Yeah. So they were like, it's Jason, we're going to like give him a gram. We're gonna fuck him up. Okay. So they put a nug that was like probably over a gram. Okay. They stuck it in this gravity bong. Yeah. They lit it. They made sure it like filled very slowly. It was yellow in there. Oof. It loaded up
good smoke too.
To the top. Like they were at the very like brim of this thing. And they took it off and they were like, Jason, hit it. And I didn't know how to hit a gravity bong, and I acted like I did. Right. So I went onto it. And I fucked it up somehow. I don't know how I did, but the water basically went like this and then shot up the bottle so that all of the smoke along with like a
Water.
bunch of water just shot up straight into my mouth, into my lungs because I was sucking so hard, and it just and I held it in there with water in my fucking mouth, and I coughed it up and time skipped. Like, I was having a good time before. I don't know what the fuck was happening after that. I was just on the couch watching a movie. I was like, when did I get on the couch?
Oh
What the fuck is going on? And I'm just watching this movie just like fucking just blowing me away. I don't even remember what the movie was. It was probably not even, it was probably a television show. And I was just like so high, dude.
Yeah.
So like, fucking moral of the story, don't smoke a gravity bong on your first time fucking getting high, man.
No. And be around people you're comfortable with. That's
be around people you're comfortable with. Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I do get high, and I usually don't even like to get high, I need to be around, like, a person I have a lot of fun with.
And, like, good environment, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but,
that's why it's good to do in LA, because you know it's not illegal there.
Right.
Like, it's not something, like, my buddy and I, Anthony and I, we hit like his pen while we were there like a week ago. We went to go see Joe Rogan.
Oh yes.
And we were outside the comedy club and we were hitting the pen and we were both going like this afterwards. And then he looked at me and he's like, "We need to get that fucking program out of our head."
Yeah.
Because you don't even need to do that here.
Yeah, you don't need to look over your shoulder.
You don't need to check to see if anyone's looking.
Yeah.
There's like an old lady in front of us. I'm like, "Hey, marijuana." You know, who cares?
Yeah, it's 2019 too. Weed is not a fucking big deal. It really is.
Just make that federally legal, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I remember when gay marriage became federally legal. Tony, God, yeah. I was at the place with Tony. Tony's gay, and he got married like the year after. He was with his husband for like 30 years before that, and they were never able to get married. And I remember when it happened, he was so happy.
I know.
So happy. I couldn't, like, I woke up and it was happening. I didn't even know it was happening. And I heard them make the announcement, and he was like, like he was losing his mind.
That's heartwarming.
Fucking adorable, man. But like,
no, I remember
they need to do that for weed. They need to have that fucking.
I remember in 6th grade actually.
And abortion, just make that shit legal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it not legal now? No,
not federally.
Oh, I didn't
not federally legal.
Oh, yeah, okay. But going back to Uncle Tony, I remember I asked him, like, because in 6th grade I went to go out to visit him. You know what I mean? With my mom and out in LA, and so I asked him, I was like, "Uncle Tony, like, why aren't you and Danny married?" And he said, because like you could in like certain states or whatever, but he was like, honestly, like, I wouldn't want. He told me, he was like, I wouldn't want to marry the love of my life, knowing that there's a possibility that they could take it away from us. And it was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, even like at a young age, I was like, wow. Like, it made you think. It was like, why does the world have to be like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It was fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it was.
It's so weird to be able to say that we lived in a time when gay marriage was illegal.
Yeah, it is. Right?
Can you imagine that? Like, when our kids are born and they don't even know it. It's gonna be like when fucking, like, the what are those laws called for the black people not being able to go in certain places?
Oh.
What were those called? The something laws.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but
like the fact that those were in place when, like, our parents, right? It was segregation, but it was called something.
Yeah.
And the fact that those were around, dude, when our parents were around, it's like I can't even fathom. I can't even put it through my brain that this dude had to go over to a bathroom over there, and this dude had to go to a bathroom over here. It's like, what are you talking about? That's insane.
It is insane.
That doesn't even compute. But, like, the fact that we're, like, it's in our head, like, oh yeah, gay marriage was illegal.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know, right?
What?
It's crazy.
Weed's illegal. What?
Yeah, like, it's crazy. I don't even know. But okay, yeah. So let's go back to weed though. So, it's the first time I smoked, 12 years old. Definitely should have waited, but so that was that. And like the thing that probably kind of fucked me up was like my parents, or at least my mom. She was like perfectly like okay with it, not like okay with it, but like she was like accepting. Like she was like, all right, like whatever, you smoke weed, it's not the end of the world. Kids experiment as long as like you're here at my house, like safe and not getting in trouble somewhere else. Like okay, cool. But if she would have been like maybe a little more strict, I probably would have held off. Either that or I would have rebelled. I don't know.
You never know, dude.
Yeah, you really never know. But okay, so flash forward a little bit. So like from 12 up until the age of probably like 14, I smoked, but not like on the everyday basis. Like it was just like probably like your average person that would smoke weed, like not like a lot, like crazy a lot, but you'd hit it like every once in a while. You know what I mean? But then I got a little older, and I would say definitely probably like my sophomore year is really when I started like to pick up like smoking like a decent amount. Like I was smoking eight blunts a day, minimum.
Yourself?
Minimum 8 blunts a day. Yeah, I mean not always myself. Like I would have like my friends with me. Sometimes we'd all pass. You know what I mean? Like puff pass whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But 8 blunts a day, and you got to think like when I roll like a blunt, there's 2 grams in my blunt. It's not like
you roll.
Yeah,
fatties.
They're canyons. Yeah, so like, so think about it. 2 times 8, you know what I mean? That's 16 grams. It's more than a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just a lot of weed to be smoking, especially with blunts. Like, the tobacco leaf, you know what I mean? So it definitely had me hooked, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't crave smoking weed. I wouldn't want to smoke a joint. I wouldn't want to smoke a bong. I need the blunt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nicotine in
it's tobacco. Yeah. So that was sophomore year, and up until like recently, like I would say maybe like a month or two, I was smoking like at least probably like 8+ blunts a day and 2 grams in each one. And but now like as I'm getting older, it's like my friend Phil told me this too when he was a senior and I was a sophomore. He was like, as you get older, bro, like you don't like want to really smoke like that anymore. And I was thought to myself, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know. At the time, now that I'm here, like 18, and like I didn't smoke at all yesterday, and like
yeah. How much would you say you smoke on average now?
Now it's I would say 1 to 2 blunts. I can't even really say I wouldn't say a day either, because like I don't.
Some days you just go without it.
Yeah, too. Like yesterday, like you know what I mean. But I normally smoke now. Like I limit myself because I've had my friends be like, "Yo, like let's smoke, let's smoke, let's smoke." I'm like, bro, like I just smoke at night. I smoke just right before I go to bed. It helps me fall asleep. You know what I mean? Like it's nice. Like I like to get nice and baked before I pass out, brush my teeth, and fall asleep. You know what I mean? But I was definitely smoking like crazy, and not just like weed. Like I'd be smoking dabs too, like out of the rig, and that shit gets you fucked up. And then you take dabs, make it into a little worm, and you put it in. A worm is like you just roll it up, like so it's like a skinny little fucking looks like a worm. You know what I mean? You put that in your blunt, so it's like dabs, which is concentrated weed, like melted down weed, just pure THC, no like CBD. And I'd put that in a blunt, and it would smoke that, and you'd get baked. You know what I mean? So like, just a lot of damage to my lungs. And then the Juul. Oh man, I didn't even start with the Juul. We started with another like vape thing called the Fix, which
you were smoking a Fix for a long time.
Yeah, and so actually, I'll tell you the story about the Juul. So
same
like,
idea.
Yeah, no, same exact shit. But like, the Juul, when it first came out, like it was all like college kids really doing it, and that you gotta be fucked.
Put your shit on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, and we're back after another phone call.
So let's see, we're talking about the Juul. Oh yes, so when the Juul first came out, it was like college kids smoking it, right? But there was like a select group of girls in our school that loved the Juul, and everyone in my whole entire school, I kid you not, everyone in the whole entire school thought they were like the biggest weirdos, right? Like, so like since they were weird and they were doing it, we were like, what the fuck? Like, no one fucked with the Juul at all. And then the summer came, and I got a Fix that summer, and that was like going into my junior year. And so I got a Fix, and I started fucking with it, whatever. And then my friend Reggie, he was the one who also had a Fix too, I believe. And he was like, yo, I just bought this Juul off of blah, 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 right? So when he got it, I was like, damn, like, I thought it was cool that you could tap it and like the light would pop up, you know, green light, whatever, stuff like that. and it just came so convenient. You'd hit it in class, blah blah. So I eventually got one, and like then it was like the biggest switch. Like the whole entire school, not because of me, just like everyone's mentality just changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, it became the
thing.
wave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this is literally our generation's version of a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like hands down. But it was just crazy. Like it just switched like that.
It's
and
fucking
like
crazy, dude. We
everyone
were at
loved
a
it.
party the other day. It was like the first day that I was seeing you. It was your graduation. We went to a party that night, and there was like a fucking pit fire going on, not a bonfire. I learned that. There was a pit fire going on, and we were all sitting around it, and everybody's smoking a jewel. Everybody's smoking a jewel, but there was this one kid who was kind of an outcast there.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And he wasn't able to get a jewel from anybody. You know, he was kind of a little socially awkward. He pulled out a cigarette.
Oh, he did. Yeah,
and started smoking a cigarette. And everybody else is smoking the jewel like crazy, dude.
Crazy.
And he gets halfway through the cigarette and he throws it in the fire. And everybody, and this has not left my head, everybody just started getting up and going, "Cancer! Cancer!" Like they were all screaming, like, "Cancer! No, we're going to get cancer!" Yeah. I was like, Are you fucking crazy?
Crazy.
What are you talking about?
I know.
Dude,
ridiculous.
I was drunk and high. I was like cross-faded. Yeah. And I was just looking at these people like, am I hallucinating?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Dude, and I looked at you. It was like a political cartoon. It was so crazy. I looked at you. I was like, dude, what are they talking about? Yeah. And you said something so true. You said like, they just don't know about the chemicals in this shit.
Yeah, no, like what I was saying. So
like that's nicotine that'll kill you. And all of the other shit that you don't think is in there is in there.
Yeah, so like pretty much like what I was saying is like, so, okay. So one pod, the thing that you put into the jewel, contains a whole pack of cigarettes. Not all the chemicals they put into cigarettes, but the nicotine, the same amount, right? But the thing that like a lot of kids don't know is that there are so many chemicals in jewels as well. Like there's thousands of chemicals in cigarettes. But think about it, like how technology itself is advanced. So like the people who made the jewel, like they know what they're doing. Like they put in chemicals to make you like hooked. You know what I mean? Like let alone the nicotine part. Like that's addictive as it is. But they put in chemicals to wire it so you're even more hooked. So I'm sure these chemicals in all reality are 10 times, if 100 times worse than the chemicals they put in cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
Dude, you said something to me that scared the fucking life out of me. Like I looked at you. I was like, dude, you gotta stop smoking that thing. And you said something like, yeah, this will be the thing that'll kill me. And dude, I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, dude, I know that this is like,
that's going to be part of the reason why I'm gonna die.
This is gonna be part of the reason that I'm gonna die. And I was like, ugh. Christ, man, that's harsh.
It is, but it's the truth. I mean, I know it too. You know what I mean? I know what I'm getting myself into. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I told you, like by the time I'm 20 something, like after college and all that, after I've gotten like through all experimenting and all of that shit, like if I'm still smoking the jewel, like I said, dude, I want you to just take it away, throw it away, whatever. Just remind me, because we want I want a way healthier life than I'm living now. By the time I'm 20 something, you know what I mean? I don't want to die by 60, you know what I mean? I'm all set. So, but I have that mentality, and like the thing that scares me with like my generation is like a lot of kids don't have that like mentality. They're like fuck it, I'm just gonna smoke it, you know what I mean? Until I want to stop. It's like,
yeah, you telling me that is actually it's not, it's shocking because it's the truth. Yeah. Like you're intelligent. You know what it's doing to you.
Yeah.
You're aware of that.
Yep.
And you told me, you did tell me in the car, you're like, if I'm still smoking this thing when I get out of college, throw it away.
Yeah, please. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying like I'm not gonna rip it ever again in my life after college. I'm sure there'll be a couple times, but like how I'm doing it now, I would never want to do that while I'm like an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like actually like full grown. Like no, it fucks everything up. Like
you've done lean a few times too, haven't you?
Yeah. So yeah. So like lean is like another story. I tried lean for the first time my junior year, and honestly, like I'm really not crazy about it. Like Cause like, all right, so junior year I tried it, and I was already high and drunk. So like honestly, I sipped it, not like to the point even probably where you would like feel the effects from it. Like I literally took probably like 3 sips, and that's not gonna do shit to you unless you have a really low tolerance for that. But like what I'm trying to say is like I didn't even know if it like really affected me. But there's been like this year I picked it up to like flip to a couple of my friends because I mean there's a lot of money in that, you know what I mean? But I'd pick it up because I'd get it for like dirt cheap, and I like you have it, you sip it, like whatever. But honestly, it just makes you fall asleep. Like I don't, it's not for me. Like I don't, I'm not crazy about it. Like you see all like rappers and stuff, like big influencers doing it. It's like fuck it, like why not try it? You know what I mean? I like to experiment. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah, trying everything once isn't the
yeah,
worst idea. Like if you
yeah.
don't have an addictive personality.
Right, but I do have an addictive personality. That's like that's why I stay away from hard drugs. Like I never done. The only drugs I've ever done was weed, dabs, and lean. That's it. You know what I mean? Like and I don't expect myself to go out of that. I mean, maybe like shrooms, like eventually just to try, like, but I have to be like I told you, like in a safe environment with like people I trust. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But I can't allow myself to get hooked onto. I just can't. Like, it's not. I can't. Yeah, I know myself, and I know that.
Some of those hard drugs, like I would never go near that. I don't even have I have an obsessive personality, not an addictive one. I do things like crazy for like a week, and then I just don't do it anymore.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So like, but I would never fuck with like meth, heroin, any of those things.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
PCP. Like no, I'm also like.
It's just it's crazy what those things like get people into, man. That's a lot of the homeless people we were talking about. Lives.
And like the thing with me too is like, so like Chip Bro, like my brother, he died. I don't think he overdosed, but he died in his sleep, like because of drugs are just too much for his body. His body shut down. So like,
how old was he?
Ooh, in his 20s.
How old were you?
I wasn't alive.
You weren't alive yet?
No, I was. He died literally a couple months before I was born. And like literally like I think like a week before he was gonna meet my mom.
Oof.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly the whole every detail. But like what I'm trying to say is like.
So your half brother.
Yeah.
Your father's son.
Yeah, father's son. So what I'm trying to say though is like I couldn't allow myself, not just like even for me to get addicted because it would ruin my life to like those hard drugs, but like I wouldn't want to put my family through something that they've already gone through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's just. I just couldn't do that.
Let me make sure that the recording didn't stop because it's probably at that 10% where it tells you you're 10%. No, it didn't stop. Good.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're low on battery. We're like 50 minutes in. Let's just like pump through the subjects real quick. Right, hold on, I'm gonna put on my shades.
Feel that.
About to get fucking crazy in here.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm trying to hit this button at some point too.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that.
Let's do it, bro. I should have hit it when we were talking about 15-year-olds.
I was thinking about that.
That's what was running through my head.
Funny.
I was like, no!
Okay. So, let's see. Graduation, college, fashion company, parties, not liking Cape Cod to live that. We could talk about that. So, like, I feel like no matter, like, where you grow up, you always want to kind of, like, you're not fond of, like, the place where you live. I mean, some people are, but, like, me personally, like, Cape Cod itself is not for me, like,
Cape Cod specifically, yeah, it's kind of boring here.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Naples, Florida.
Everyone's so miserable too. Like, if you live here, you know. But like, if you just come on like summertime vacations or whatever, you think, oh, it's like a beautiful like white.
Yeah, town. Retire here. Have a good time.
But like, also like this place is like.
This is what the feeling is when you're here for too long.
Yeah.
Fuck, that didn't work.
But like the also thing is like.
There it is.
Drugs is like a big thing, which a lot of people are like surprised about Cape Cod. Is like drugs is a big thing, especially heroin.
Everywhere where it's fucking boring, dude.
Yeah.
Everywhere where you have like nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's like this is.
It's what you do to pass time. You know what I mean? But like heroin, especially, like is a huge drug here.
Really?
Yeah. There's a whole documentary about it. This is #1 place like for heroin. I'm pretty sure.
Crazy.
That is crazy. Or one of them. I know that.
All right.
But okay, so that's that. Moving to LA, fighting, working out, eating healthier, jewel, act. So talk about acting a little bit, movies and stuff like that.
All right. So like, okay. All right. So like, act. Oh Christ. Yeah, I'm trying to act. I've already talked about this in like my other podcasts. It's not fucking. It's not an easy game. You gotta have kind of a tough skin, you know. And it's like any of the arts. I'm sure it's gonna be the same thing when we go into fashion. It's just it kind of like it eats at you to know that you can't do it enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's something that you're really passionate about. You're like, I want to do this all the time.
Right.
It's not gonna happen all the time.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with bills. You're gonna have to deal with like
Okay.
time off. You're gonna have to deal with all that shit. And the
Yeah,
feeling that gives you is
persevere,
just no.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
shitty feeling. But
Yes.
you know, if you're really passionate about the thing you're doing, then you know, just keep going at it.
Yeah.
I fucking get it.
But another thing is, so, me and Jason's like childhood, like a one way that like we really stayed connected was through like computer games and video games and just everything.
Video
like
games.
yeah, like I would say like we're not nerds, but like we have our geeky side to us where we love
dorky.
video games.
I watched E3.
Yeah, I love that shit. Jason loves anime too. Like I'm not crazy about
anime. I don't love anime. I'm just putting that out there. Ray fucking took the shit out of me for that.
What did you
took
say?
the piss out of me for that. Yeah, he was like, dude, I brought up anime for like a second. I was like, anime is really cool, man. And he just looked at me. He just looked at me. He's like, "You're a fruit."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah. You didn't even know what that meant either.
No. It wasn't the fruit. Like fruit, I know what that means. He said something else. He said some fucking
maybe.
Massachusetts term, which you guys have a lot of these crazy, weird Massachusetts
anywhere
terms.
you go, slang is different.
He looked at me. He's like, "You're a guacamole." I'm like, "What does that? What does that mean?" You know, he's like, "It means you're a fruit."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Fuck you, bro. Have you seen Death Note?"
Yeah.
Death Note is the shit.
I haven't even seen Death Note, actually.
Such a badass show, bro. It's about this kid who's like super smart and he has nothing to do in life because he's too intelligent. He's like bored, and then he just finds a book where he can write people's names, and as long as he knows what their face looks like, they'll die.
Yeah.
So he just starts to like take over the world by like getting rid of all the criminals. He's like making a utopian society.
Oh really?
Yeah. And there's like this guy who is running an investigation trying to catch him.
Oh, wow.
So he never knows who he is. So he's always one step ahead of this guy who's trying to catch him. It's like this fucking murder mystery type of show, and it just keeps going, and it's badass.
Gotcha.
Badass. Ain't no fruit ever seen that show, bro. A fruit watches that show, they turn into a hunk of fucking steel.
Steak.
Okay. Steak.
Yeah.
Steel steak. Steak made out of steel, bro.
Yeah.
That only fucking men can bite into.
Yeah, pumped of testosterone.
Pumped full of testosterone, steroids, and shit.
The last thing on our list would be just like some high school experiences. This could take me like honestly probably like a whole nother hour. But the one thing that
I could write a book about this.
Yeah, but like the one thing I want to say about my high school is like I was always very close with like the grades above me, not close with the grade that I was in really until like my senior year, I would say. But yeah, like especially the grade above me, like those are all my boys. So like once they left, like after they graduated and then I became the senior, like it was just so much different. Like I loved high school until they left, and then like after it was just like I can't wait to graduate. Pretty much,
it's just
like,
boring.
Yeah.
I hated high school.
I loved it though.
I hated my high school.
Yeah.
My high school was shit.
Depends on your high school, yeah.
But that's our time.
Yeah.
So you know,
thank you for tuning
great
in.
Talking to you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's teach me that shit with the hand where you're going around, so we can end with that. You know, the thing where you grab someone's pinky and then you went. Okay, we're going here.
1, 2. Make a circle.
Make a circle. Okay, I'm at a circle.
Keep those out.
Keep these out.
1, 2. Okay,
pinky. Wrap around.
That's it. That's all the time we have today.
Peace.
Keep the shades on.
Keep the shades on, boys.